Innovation Technological University, Nagpur, former LIT, who was also the former director of NEERI. I'm just going to read his introduction in brief because his introduction is so overwhelming, and I won't be able to do justice to whatever sir has done in the field of science and humanity. Sir completed BTech in Chemical Engineering from LIT, MTech in Chemical Engineering from IIT Mumbai, PhD in Chemical Engineering. Sir has served as a chief scientist and has extensive research and work on various aspects of environmental engineering. Sir was also the head of Solid and Hazardous Waste Management Division, NEERI. Sir has actively worked for Stockholm Convention, United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, which is an international treaty that aims to limit human interference with the climate system. Sir has implemented effective technological options for management of hazardous waste in various industries across India. Sir has, to his credit, more than 80 research papers, guided several PhD students, and also has several patents on his name. His publications are recognized with Google Scholar for over 4,000 citations. Sir is a life member. Is also a life member of several reputed institutions and has also deputed to various countries like Japan, UK, Italy, Canada, Switzerland, France, Sri Lanka for various projects. I request Dr. Please welcome and felicitate Dr. Sir. You, sir. Please excuse me for my disturbance caused because of my voice. Next panelist, a very prominent person from the medicine faculty of the city, Dr. Raj Gajbhe, sir, who is the Dean of Government Medical College, Nagpur. Sir is a consultant bariatric advanced laparoscopic and robotic surgeon. Sir has several fellowships in advanced laparoscopic surgery, bariatric surgery, thoracoscopic surgery, GI surgery, and robotic surgery. Sir has, to his credit, various publications in national and international journals. Sir has received Best International Paper Awards in World Laparoscopy Conference, SAGES, at the United States of America for consecutive 3 years. Sir established state-of-art robotic surgery and advanced laparoscopy surgery department at GMC Nagpur, which is first of its kind in the entire state of Maharashtra. Sir is also the recipient of prestigious Dr. Vankar Memorial Lifetime Achievement Award by the Indian Medical Association, Nagpur. So we are deeply proud and honored to have you with us, sir. I again request Dr. Rajendra Kakare, sir, to please welcome and felicitate Dr. Raj Gajbhe, sir. you, sir. Our next panelist is someone all the children of Nagpur are extremely fond of, who is also fondly called as his Dr. Shri Chandrakant Chennai, but he's always fondly called as he's Kaka for everyone. All children are extremely fond of him. Sir was the guest professor in JJ School of Arts, Mumbai, and adjunct professor, Fine Arts Faculty, Maratha University, Nagpur. Sir worked as Dean of Central India School of Fine Arts, Nagpur. Studied Fine Arts in MS University, Baroda, and Kala Bhavan, Vishwa Bharati University, Shantiniketan, West Bengal. Sir has his PhD in Child Art and Expressions. Sir is the president of Basoli Group of Child Artists and has been working on creative aspect of child creativity from last 50 years. Sir has had painting exhibitions at almost all important galleries of India: Dubai, Jakarta, Singapore, Malaysia, London, Paris, and Boston. Sir has many national awards to his credit in arts and painting. Sir has worked in Pandit Bacharaj Vyas Vidyalaya, Nagpur as a drawing teacher for enhancement of child creativity for more than 28 years. I request Dr. Praveena Kobragare ma'am to please welcome and felicitate Dr. Chandrakant Chennai, sir. Ma'am, thank you, sir. We'll commence with the panel discussion just in a minute. I especially want to thank Dr. Rajendra Kakare sir for his constant support and for being with us here today. I request Dr. Praveena Kobragare ma'am to please accord floral welcome to Dr. Rajendra Kakare sir. Thank you so much, sir, for your constant support and being with us. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let us begin the most awaited panel discussion, the Nagpur Dialogue National Youth Conclave. I again welcome all the dignitaries on the dais, and we all have been waiting very patiently to talk to them, to converse with them. Um, I would like to start with Advocate Shashank Manohar, sir. Sir, hailing from a very prestigious legal family and family of lawyers, and then there was this complete switch of you going for cricket administration. So, sir, how was your experience, and what would you like to tell us about it?
To be honest, I consider myself to be very lucky to be born in a prestigious family of Mr. Manohar, who is one of the topmost lawyers in India. And I always consider myself lucky, and I told, even when the principal came to invite me, I told him that I am a destiny's child. I am neither an intelligent person, nor I have any knowledge about any arts or anything. But destiny has put me in a position where people consider that I have achieved something, but actually I did nothing to achieve that. It just happened. And if I tell you the truth, then you would also understand that it's really actually my destiny and nothing else. To be honest, if you have time, I can tell you that when I became the board president, I was not willing to become the board president. I was in Mahabaleshwar on my vacations with my family. And I got a message from Mr. Jetli, who was then the finance minister of India and who was also a board member, that he wants to speak to me. So I went to Delhi at his place, and he told me that we want you to be the president of the board. And I told him, I don't want to be. He was insisting that I should be. I was insisting that I don't want to be. This continued for about an hour. Finally, to get out of his house, he was not allowing me to go out of his house. So finally, I told him, I'll have to speak to my wife, seek her permission, because it's going to affect my practice and my family life. So he said, all right. I told him, give me 2-3 days time. He said, all right. That time, Mr. Anurag Thakur, who was also the member and past former minister of the cabinet minister, he immediately called my wife and told her that we want him for 3 years. We will give him back to you after 3 years. You have enjoyed your life with him for 40 years. So she said, I have no problem if he becomes. Then Mr. Jetli told me that no, now you can't say no. You have to be the chairman. That's how I became the board president. After I became the board president, automatically I was the ICC director. Even before the first meeting, I got a call that there was an India-South Africa game which was going on in Bangalore. And that time I got a call and from the secretary of the South African board, and he said that the president of South African board wants to see you. And they said, we are leaving tomorrow to South Africa. So before that, we want to meet you. As I am a very lazy fellow, I don't want to move out of Nagpur. I told them that I can't come to Bangalore. If you want, you can come to Nagpur. So they said, all right, we'll come tomorrow morning to Nagpur and fly from here to Bombay, and from there we'll fly out. So he came, met me, and told me that we want to. I was not knowing that man. I had never seen him. I knew only one ICC director, that was Giles Clark. So he said, we want you to be the chairman of ICC. I said, again, I am not interested in becoming the chairman of ICC. So he said, no, this, that. Finally, he left after saying this. He said, we are going to propose you as the chairman. After about 8 days, I got a call from the Australian board chairman, David Peever, Then I told my wife that, because he said, I want to speak to you. They are very systematic people, they don't call like us. He asked me what is the good time to call. So I told him tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. He said, all right, fine. So I told my wife, show me at least his face, because I must know with whom I am talking to. That's how my wife showed me, because I am a computer illiterate. I can't operate a computer, I can't start it. I can't use a mobile phone. I don't have a mobile phone till date. So she showed me the photograph of David Peaver, who was then the chairman. He said, whatever I have heard and read about you, we want you as the chairman. And the series started, and then the West Indies board chairman came to India, met me. Bangladesh chairman came to India, met me, and all of them said that we want you as the chairman. What do you call this? That people whom I don't know, I have never seen in my life, that's how I became the chairman of ICC. And after 2 years, when there was a re-election, I told them I don't want to be, because 2 years I have done, that's enough. They said, no, we want you. I said, if anyone contests against me, I will not contest, because I don't want to contest an election. This is not my father's property which I have to fight for. So they said, nobody would contest against you. There are 105 ICC members, and not a single person contested an election out of 105. People know only 10 countries which play normally cricket, but actually we have 105. That's how I continued for 4 years. Then they again said, we want you. I said, now nothing doing, I am going home. And therefore I am saying it's all destiny, nothing else. And I did nothing to do all these things. Only things which I have, because I always say that you have to assess yourself. That's what I was telling people. I know what are the qualities in me. I know what are my drawbacks. As I said, I am not an intelligent fellow. I am not a sharp fellow, but I am very honest to the core. And secondly, I have a huge confidence that if somebody else can do a thing, I can do it. That confidence I have. And thirdly, I can take decisions very quickly. If any of you ask me any question, I'll give you an answer before your question ends. So that's how quick my brain reacts. But I am not a person who knows everything. Suppose tomorrow you ask me a question about law, I'll not be able to tell you answer. But if you are in court hearing my argument, you will find that this man knows everything. I don't know. I know only that case, and thereafter I stop about thinking about that case. A matter which I have argued yesterday, if you ask me today, I said I don't remember. That's all over. It's gone. So that's how my life is. I was telling these people now that actually in college, I never attended a single class. I had not studied. I used to study only when the exams were there. And I used to listen to people, and that my memory is very sharp. Even if you ask me something which has happened 50 years back, I'll be able to tell you like a picture thing, that this is how it happened, this man spoke this man spoke this. That's how my memory is. So even if somebody tells me something, I remember that. And that is how my life is. And I have no ambitions in my life. I had zero ambition. But as I said, that I am fortunate enough that I got everything in my life.
Thank you, sir. I hope all the students here forget the not attending classes wala part and they remember how focused sir is and how confident he is. Vaidya sir, life has been a full circle for you. You are the vice chancellor of the institution, which was your alma mater, where you studied. It must be such an amazing feeling for you, sir. What would you like to tell us about it? And you being a scientist for all your life, and now into administration of an institution. There are two completely different genres.
Thank you. Like Honorable Manohar said it's also destiny. Again, I also believe in that. Only thing I can say, I was honest and sincere worker throughout my life. Whichever institution I served, I was very honest to the bottom of my heart, sincere, and always thought about the welfare of that institution. Never, as for a single second, anything in my mind against that. It was a destiny, or probably you can say a sincere work, but it is destiny most of, because there are many people like that. So I served NERI for a long time, and finally I retired as director. So that was one thing. Then I started my career. So I was professional from LIT in chemical engineering, and now I am back to LIT as a vice chancellor. So I used to tell LIT people also, I told NERI people also, that whatever I got from LIT, whatever knowledge, that knowledge was enriched in NERI. I put everything wholeheartedly into NERI, and NERI enriched my knowledge and experience, and I am putting it back to LIT again in whatever best capacity. Second question which madam asked, that it's not entirely different atmosphere, because I was into research. Although NERI is into many industrial projects, and I worked throughout my life into many industrial projects, international conventions, but the basis is always academic. Means you have to be very sound in your technical know-how and basis. And it is the same thing in LIT. Administratively also, not many of the rules and regulations government as we follow. Major problem I may face is central government and state government. I think I will have to cope up with that. So I will try to do my level best. Thank you.
So you missed being a full-time scientist and director of NERI more, because that was your first choice. You were there before.
What was your question?
So you miss being in NERI now, and you miss that scientist work.
Not really, in the sense, of course, you keep on missing, but I have developed a habit that I'm not attached to anything. So the moment I get out of that, I think it's my destiny, and my new job is awaiting for me. But anyway, whatever learnings are there, that will be definitely are there with me, and I'll be putting it back to LIT. That is for sure.
That's so nice, sir. Thank you. Gajbir, a question for you on similar lines. First, as a very renowned surgeon of the city, and now Dean of the Government Medical College. So, how much time do you get for your actual medical practice and attending patients? And because administering such a huge institution must be such a big task. So, how do you manage both? How was your journey like?
Well, I am in this profession since last 36 years, and as sir said that while doing my after having done my graduation, it is the destiny which got me admission in MS surgery, and this is how I became a surgeon. I was always impressed with a surgeon's life while doing my medical education, and since then I am a hardcore surgeon, and I keep doing all my surgeries, and I keep on updating myself in whatever the field of surgery is, and I have started laparoscopic surgery at medical college. That is termed as a keyhole surgeries. Within three fine incisions, the scope goes in, endoscope goes in, and then we can perform all these surgeries. I am a hardcore surgeon, and the surgeon has given me whatever the name, fame, and my identity is there as far as the society is concerned. But then I have operated innumerable of patients, and they have also showered blessings on me. But then gradually I was in the field of teaching, and I was a professor and head of the department of surgery. And gradually with some MPSC selections, I became Dean of Government Medical College, Nagpur. Now, as being a surgeon, we can certainly do our best to the patients and certainly serve the society. But sitting on the chair of dean, you have a wider perspective. That post of dean imparts you power, and this power can be utilized, that chair can be utilized for many other welfare of the patients, welfare of the students, welfare of the medical college per se. And you can do wonders sitting on that chair. And 75 years we have completed. We have recently celebrated our platinum jubilee. Our medical college was 75 years old, and sitting on that chair I could totally transform the medical college. There are works going on in government medical college for upgradation of the patients, for patients' welfare, for students' welfare, and everywhere. So still doing an administration, it's a big institution. It's I have to do administration of 7,000 people. They are working there, including nursing staff, class 3, class 4 and class 1 surgeons and all the faculties. So still I continue going to my operation theatres. From morning 8 o'clock I reach my operation theatre, I do my robotic surgeries, and subsequently I come back at 11 a.m. in the dean's chamber and do my administration from 11 to 6. So certainly sitting on the chair of dean, you have a wider perspective, and you can do welfare for many of the faculties and many of the patients and finally the society.
Thank you, sir. Next question for Chennai, sir. So, was art always a hobby for you, and then hobby turned into profession? And were you lucky to pursue your hobby as your profession? Because today, considering all aspects, finances, I mean, everyone who is interested in arts need not pursue this as their career, like what you were able to achieve. So how was the struggle and how was your journey, sir?
Well, I hope I'm not very comfortable in English. So Marathi, I'm more comfortable. That's why I will speak in Hindi or Marathi. Okay? कल दिल की झेरॉक्स निकलवाई, बचपन की तस्वीरें सबसे रंगीन आई. I'm working in the child field from last 50 years. A child is born to be logical. Don't ask him to be illogical. मुलं जन्माला येतात इलॉजिकलच येतात, कारण तो त्यांचा जन्मसिद्ध अधिकार असतो. तुम्ही आम्ही संपूर्ण जग त्याला लॉजिकल कसं व्हायचं याकडे आपला प्रयत्न असतो. तो होऊ नये यासाठी मैं 50 साल से कुछ काम कर रहा हूं. मेरी पीएचडी है शांति निकेतन से, कलकत्ता से. कलकत्ता के पद्म विभूषण निहार रंजन रे मेरे गुरु थे. जब मैं विश्व भारती यूनिवर्सिटी में गया और मैंने उनको कहा कि मेरी सिनॉप्सिस रागमाला मिनिएचर पेंटिंग पे है और मैं उस पर पीएचडी करना चाहता हूँ, थीसिस करना चाहता हूँ, तो उन्होंने कहा यहाँ से भगो. मैं चाहूँगा जिस फील्ड में मैं चाहूँगा, अगर उस फील्ड में आप कर सकते हो तो मैं आपका गुरु करके विश्व भारती यूनिवर्सिटी को कहूँगा कि इट्स ओके. मैं डर गया. 16 साल से मैं भाग कर गया था घर से. घर से मेरा कोई संबंध नहीं, बच्चों से संबंध नहीं, कुछ नहीं. और जब उन्होंने कहा कि चाइल्ड आर्ट पे आपको करना है तो मैं डर गया. तो उन्होंने कहा कि ऐसा करो, तुम जाओ यहाँ से, कल आ जाना. कल आप आए तो मैं समझूंगा कि आप एग्री हो गए, अगर नहीं आए तो बाय बाय. मैंने बहुत सोचा कि निहार रंजन रे इतने बड़े गुरु अगर मुझे मिलते हैं, अब मैं उनके लिए अपनी थीसिस का टॉपिक चेंज कर पाता हूँ तो कोई बात नहीं. मैं दुसरे दिन उनके यहाँ गया और कहा कि नाही मला चालेल, तुम्ही जे म्हणता मला ते आवडेल, परंतु मला एक थोडासा प्रश्न आहे. मी धारिष्ट केलं, आई डेयर टू, कि आपने ये मुझे क्यों करने को कहा है चाइल्ड आर्ट पे. तो बोले कि कुछ दिन के बाद बताऊंगा आपको. जिस दिन मुझे पीएचडी मिली तो मैं उनकी कॉपी लेके उनके पास गया, उनके चरणों पे रखा. बंगाली आदमी था तो चरणों पे रखा जाता है. तो मैंने पूछा फिर से, तो उन्होंने कहा जिस वास्तु में खड़े हो तुम, ये शांति निकेतन है, रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर जी का घर है. सामने वो जो वृक्ष देखते हो आप, उसके नीचे, आपका भी शांति निकेतन गए होंगे तो आपको पता चलेगा, एक बहुत बड़ा वृक्ष है. उनके नीचे रविंद्र संगीत का जन्म हुआ. उनके पीछे नंदलाल बोस जी ने संविधान के चित्र बनाए. उसी के नीचे रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर ने अपना पहला पेंटिंग, जिसका एग्जीबिशन पेरिस में हुआ, वो बनाया. उन्होंने कहा कभी गए हो वहां पे? मैंने बोला हाँ, मैं तो पढ़ा हूं वहां पे, मेरा ग्रेजुएशन वहीं पे हुआ है. तो बोले वहां पे बैठो और वहां पे सोचो. शांति निकेतन के आवास में, कंपाउंड में बच्चों को स्थान नहीं. रविंद्रनाथ टैगोर भी जब अपनी आराधना करते, साधना करते, तो बोलते कि बच्चों को अलग अलाउ नहीं करना यहां पे, क्योंकि मैं डिस्टर्ब हो जाता हूं. बच्चों से डिस्टर्ब होने वाली ये कम्युनिटी अगर इतनी बड़ी होती है तो मैं प्रूव करना चाहता हूं कि बच्चों की खिलखिलाहट इतनी ज्यादा है कि रविंद्र संगीत भी उनके सामने कुछ नहीं है. जब उन्होंने कहा तो मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगा कि मैं इस बच्चों की भाषा, इस पे काम कर रहा हूं. बच्चों की भाषा अगर आपको समझनी है और वो भी पेंटिंग के रंग के द्वारा समझनी है, तो एक चीज कहूंगा मैं गुलजार की. वो कहते हैं कि मेरी लिखी बातों को कोई समझ नहीं पाता, मेरी लिखी बातों को कोई समझ नहीं पाता, क्योंकि मैं एहसास लिखता हूं और लोग अल्फाज पढ़ते हैं. थैंक यू.
सर बच्चों के इतने फेवरेट रहते हैं. आई रिमेंबर आई यूज्ड टू अटेंड हिज आर्ट कैंप्स एज अ चाइल्ड एंड नाउ माय चिल्ड्रन गो टू हिज आर्ट कैंप्स एंड ही इज लाइक बच्चों को छोड़ और निकल जाओ यहाँ से, मैं और तुम्हारे बच्चे हम देख लेंगे क्या करना है. मनोहर सर, a question I was thinking of asking. In country like India, even though the national sport is hockey, but then do you really think that cricket has been getting a very wide attention? I mean, it's not it should not get attention, but then other sports are being neglected because of this crazy fanfare people have for cricket. And how other sports can be promoted? What can we do about it?
No, actually speaking, cricket has become an occupation nowadays. And money is in cricket because the viewership is for cricket. Finally, when we sell the television rights, now per game we get about, now in today's world we are getting about more than 100 crores per game. Apart from that, we get sponsorships per game which is around nearly 15 crores. So the income of the board per game is around 130, 40 plus ticket revenue and other things, 130, 40 crores. Now no other game has that viewership, because finally everything boils down to finances. Now our people, the players are paid handsomely. Even a Ranji Trophy player today is paid 40,000 rupees a day. So if he is paid 40,000 rupees a day and he has to play minimum 8 games every year, that is of 4 days, so that is 32 days. Plus he has to play 8 one-days, that is 40 days. Plus he has to play 8 T20s, so it is 48 days. So multiply 48 by 40,000 a day, and that's the money even a local cricketer is getting. Forget about the international cricketers. Now for other sports, as I told you that there is a financial constraint. So I can tell you an interesting story now. When the board was making huge money, the government of India made a request to the board that for Olympic training, you should give some money. So we gave 100 crores to government of India to train the Olympians who are going to participate. The result of that was that the government, the finance ministry and the income tax department cancelled the exemption which was granted to the board, saying that you utilize your money for other purpose than cricket, therefore your exemption is revoked. So if this is the attitude of the government, why would the board, otherwise the board would have financed them every time. The board would have given them money. Now we are paying you, now as I said, the government has also to do certain things. And to be honest, I am a forthright person, I don't talk like a politician. Today the corruption in this country is so large that if you spend 100 crores for something, actually what is spent is 20, 30 crores. The rest is pocketed by people. And actually speaking, unless and until you eradicate this corruption, which according to me is impossible, because this is a mentality. And few politicians met me, I told them that you have to have moral science classes right from class 1 till 10th, 12th standard. And every day there has to be a 1-hour class. Because, and this would not improve today, but this would improve after 30 years. I have always radical views, and that's how I believe in that. So this would happen after 30 years. But then the society has to improve. If 10 rupees are spent for a particular purpose, the entire 10 rupees must go there. You can't say, and as I said, that the official, during my entire tenure as BCCI president, I have never seen a game. I did not go to watch a game by spending board's money. And even when I was a board chair president of the Indian board, I did not take a single penny from the board. Even my flight tickets, my hotel bookings, everybody else was taking. To set an example, I said I will not take because I am working here. I must work here as an honorary member. I should not take money and spend the money of the board, which is for cricket. You spend it on the game. You can't spend it on yourself. And if till the time this attitude develops, the other games are, and there is a politics everywhere. Everywhere, in each and every game, there is politics. I can tell you, when I was the board president, there were more than 10 politicians in my board. They were sitting there from different parties. And all top politicians, not the small politicians. Even our country's today's Prime Minister used to sit in my board as a board member. The Home Minister used to sit as a board member. Mr. Pawar used to sit as a board member. Farooq Abdullah used to sit. Arun Jaitley used to sit. Jyotiraditya Scindia used to sit. So all these people used to sit. But I can tell you one thing. That time nobody was talking on political lines. Everybody used to speak for the interest of the game, though they belong to different political parties. And that's what I said, that unless and until your interest is in that particular activity, the activity can't improve. So for other games also, now I said, as I told you, the government budget is about 1500 crores for sports, the central government budget. I said 1500 crores, if you distribute them amongst all those sports, then each sport would get 20 crores, 30 crores, which is not going to help them. So instead of doing that, you create facilities for 2 sports. After 10 years, there would be facilities available for all sports. But today what is happening, you spend 20 crores, 30 crores on a particular sport, so it's like peanuts for that sport. Today training and other facilities, like you should have grounds, you should have hostels, everything. And as I said, that unless and until you systematically do it, it won't happen. And I don't believe in players running the sport. Because administration, I always used to give an example. Suppose there is a very good cobbler. Do you make him the chairman of Bata or Nike? He is a cobbler. His job is to stitch a shoe. His job is not to run, because administration is a different ball game. Tomorrow, I don't say that I am a very good administrator, so I'll go and open for India. Likewise, you are a player. Your job is playing. You know playing. You understand how to play the game. So you go on the ground and play the game. But people have weird concepts that a player is a good administrator. And that's how, otherwise, tomorrow I always say that I am a good administrator for cricket. But tomorrow, if Reliance is given in my hands to run it, it would close down in 3 days. Because I don't understand anything. My administrative skills are in a different field. So all these things have to be looked into, and till the time you improve all these things, the sports are not going to improve.
Come back to you, sir, with these ethical concerns that you raised. Like, to continue this topic of ethical concerns, I come back to you, sir. Yeah. Sir, did you have to face any such interface where there was your profession and your ethics on one side, and certain compromises that you might have to make while making policy decisions or while working for the government?
No, not to the extent as Manohar said, but then because we were working for environment, and there are many, as he must be aware, there are many legal cases going on, especially for corporates. So a report from NERI would seal the fate of industry, or it can open the fate. And yes, there were certain pressures, not to the extent that you are threatened, or the only thing is that every time people will say, please see, something like that. And there can be certain messages from the political system also. In that case, you have to be very, very technical. You cannot be, the only way out, I thought, was to be on strictly technical basis, which cannot be challenged. So if you say 3 plus 2 is equal to 5 means 5, no, but you cannot make 6 or 7 like that, and nobody, court will never accept. And you have to be precise. Secondly, sometimes it's a technical thing, but then as per the rule, you have to be very justified in certain cases. Like, I always quote one example that there is a parameter in wastewater which commonly is dealt with courts. So we call biochemical oxygen demand, BOD, which determines the pollution levels of the wastewater. So limit is suppose 30, it was 30 that time. And one industry is releasing around 31. It's a violation, obviously. 30 and 31 is a violation. But it's not a really violation, in the sense there can be errors in measurements. And 30 and 31 practically it doesn't make, because the law has to give some figure. Law has given us figure. Of course, 30 you cannot tolerate 100 definitely, but you have to have some kind of discretion to not to differentiate between 30 and 32. You have to differentiate between 30 and 100 definitely. This is regarding BOD. But if it comes to cyanide, and there are certain industries we faced, we were involved in certain cases where arsenic or cyanide, there you cannot even tolerate 0.1, 0.01 ppm here and there, because it's straightway threat to the society and threat to the flora and fauna. So you have to be justified in your decisions, and courts do accept your logic. I have seen that there were certain pressures obviously, but then more or less all the judges, if you give a technical report, even sometimes Pressure is also from court that we want report in 15 days, which is not possible technically. Court may understand that, but you have to plead your case properly. So you have to give the justification to the court that this is the type of work and this is the work volume, and it will take so much time. And normally I cannot quote any example where court has denied the time frame. Whatever time frame scientifically we asked, any court, whether it is NGT or High Court or even Supreme Court, they did allow us to go by that time frame. So pressures are there, but then not to the extent as he said, because it's a money game totally. Yes.
Similar question to you, sir. Let's talk about medical ethics and doctor-patient interface and relationship. So, how did you manage to balance these rights of a doctor versus rights of a patient, medical confidentiality, transparency in this relationship, and what was there some pressure on you while dealing with such kind of cases?
Well,
ethical aspects, I mean.
as far as medical college is concerned, as far as doctor-patient relationship is concerned, we do have certain pressures, but then that does not, matter much. Now, what is happening is 80% of the healthcare system is being managed and seen by the private practitioners. Only 20% of the healthcare system in the country is being taken care of by the government hospitals, medical colleges, and the district hospitals and PHCs. It has become a very complicated problem nowadays. The patients does not have a faith in the doctors. The patients does not have patience. At times the doctors are also there at fault. I always keep on telling my resident doctors, you see, we have to be open 24/7. We have to give services 24/7. There are continuously emergencies coming on, and I always keep on telling, and all these emergencies are being managed by the residents, of course under the supervision of the seniors. But then these young doctors, I always tell them that you should speak with the patients, their relatives very properly. The patient coming to you remains to be in pain. He is in misery. He has his own problems, and the relative along with the patient is also too much of excited. And in such cases, if you do not tackle this situation patiently, if you are not sympathetic and empathetic with the patient, then the patient might get irritated. This is about the doctors, but at the same time, there are problems with the patients also. Now, what they will do is, they will manage the patient, they will take the patient at so many places, let the condition of the patient deteriorate, and finally they will come down to any hospital or like that, and finally if the patient dies there, everything has been done by the doctor has not taken the care properly, and he has not instituted the treatment properly, and then he has then there are so many allegations against the doctors. So it's from both ends. But then, and that is the reason, and then something goes wrong, and then डॉक्टरांवर झालेले हल्ले हल्लीच्या दिवसात फार वाढतायत. So all these things keep on happening. The patients have also to be aware of how to behave with the doctors. The doctors also should be aware how to tackle the patients, and usually these doctors are there of young generation. They are all resident doctors working in the hospitals. In spite of that, there are in private practitioners, there are senior doctors who are being beaten up by the relatives, by the society. But then there are stricter laws and rules now for the doctors. So unless and until there is a very severe negligence, or then only the doctors are being implicated in the cases. But now the society has a different perspective of seeing the doctors. They think that doctors have money, they are soft targets, and then finally whatever has been done, then it will be settled on monetary basis. The doctor community otherwise remains to be a very timid community. Let me tell you this. Anybody can, I mean, blackmail them, or they do not want to have a social stigma. So they would also like एक बार का कुछ पैसे दे दिला के मैटर सेटल कर डालो, like that attitude, even if he is not at fault. And then even if the death occurs of the patient's relatives, he will settle down on money. I mean, he does not have then to talk about how his patient died or something like that. So it's a very complicated issue, but I can tell you even the society today should have patience. They should also understand how quickly they should take their patient to the doctors. And I'll tell you, no doctor on this earth will have any pleasure in killing his patient, I can say. I mean, nobody will think that his patient, no doctor will think that his patient should die. He will try his level best, but then it's a complicated issue. The laws are certainly in favor of doctors. The judges are sympathetic. They know how the society behaves, and they certainly have sympathy for doctors. The doctors are being implicated only in such cases where there is a very, very gross negligence. So usually I think newer and newer laws are coming, and the laws are for the medical fraternity. That is what I believe.
Thank you, sir, for actually pointing out the other side of the story. I mean, we being law students and law teachers, we always talk about medical negligence, but then there is always two sides of the same coin. So there can be mistakes from the patient side also, which we do not understand what you might have to face every day in cases of medical negligence. So thank you for pointing this out actually, that there are, I mean, not just a doctor is always at fault, but then there are patients also can be equally responsible.
Absolutely,
for the same.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And what is expected from a doctor, if the matter goes in the court, I'm 100% sure that Mr. Manohar would have handled these cases, I mean, many of such cases. But then what does the view of the court remains to be? I'm there on many of the committees where every now and then from police station and from all the complaints keep on coming, and then it is referred to the medical board. I am chairman of that medical board since a very long time. I keep on seeing all these cases. Most of the times the court takes a view that what is expected from a doctor is what in that particular situation, what an average skilled person would have imparted treatment. That is expected from the doctor. So even if he has imparted that particular treatment, nothing is going to happen to the doctor. But then unfortunately the litigations are increasing, and day by day all these things are happening. Recently we have witnessed what the RG Medical College, what gruesome incidents has undergone. So I hope with the society getting educated, gradually all these incidences might lessen in future.
That's a very interesting point for discussion. We'll continue this. सर आपसे एक बात करनी थी एथिक्स के बारे में. सब लोग अभी हम लोग बात कर रहे हैं, तो सर क्या आपको लगता है कि एक आज के ज़माने का आर्टिस्ट, मतलब एथिक वर्ड इज़ वेरी सब्जेक्टिव, एथिक्स एंड मॉरल्स, बट देन आज के ज़माने का जो आर्टिस्ट है वो उसके फ्रीडम ऑफ एक्सप्रेशन के नाम पे ही हैज़ उसने वो लिमिट्स को ट्रांसेंड कर दिया है. what might not have been ethical for you, वो उसके लिए उसको लगता है कि क्या प्रॉब्लम है मैं इस तरीके से अगर एक्सप्रेस करता हूँ. जैसे हमने कल बात की थी टू द एक्सटेंट ऑफ बिग आर्टिस्ट लाइक M.F. हुसैन, उन्होंने गुजरात के भूकंप के बाद ही वांटेड टू शो अ वेरी डिस्ट्रेस्ड भारत माता, एंड उन्होंने उनके पेंटिंग्स में ही शोड अ न्यूड भारत माता टू शो कि शी इज वेरी डिस्ट्रेस्ड. सो इट इनवाइट लॉट ऑफ ऑब्जेक्शन फ्रॉम एवरीवेयर. तो आपको क्या लगता है सर कि आज के आर्ट का एंगल ही बदल गया है, आर्टिस्ट का एक्सप्रेशन का उसके?
एक्चुअली आर्ट फील्ड थोड़ा सा अलग हटके है सोसाइटी से. एटलीस्ट आर्टिस्ट ने ऐसा दिखाया है, बनाया है. एक्चुअली इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द सोसाइटी. हम उसको सोशल कहते हैं. हमारे धर्म हो गए, मंदिर हो गए, दे आर नॉट पॉलिटिकल और बेस्ड ऑन एनी वर्बल कॉम्पोजिशन. उनका जो भी है इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द सोसाइटी. और हम लोग बेसिकली, और आजकल के जैसे इन्होंने बताया कि माहौल कुछ ऐसा हो गया है कि दे लिव फॉर देमसेल्व्स. मैं मेरे लिए खुद के लिए जीता हूं और चाहता हूं कि मेरा कुछ भी काम जो है वो अलग है. आपने हुसैन के बारे में बोल दिया अभी. द मोमेंट आई से हुसैन, आपको मालूम है कितना कॉन्ट्रडिक्शन हो गया. हुसैन ऐसा आदमी है कि जिन्होंने इंडियन आर्ट को एक आइडेंटिटी दी है. आज मैं यहां पे हूं, सारे लोग यहां पे है, सारे आर्टिस्ट यहां पे है, सारे कलाकार यहां पे है, वो सिर्फ एक ही आदमी के कारण है, वो है हुसैन. हुसैन एक गरीब फैमिली का था. आपको बता दो कि कंट्रोवर्सी चल रही है, उसके पीछे क्या है. आपको पंढरपुर मालूम है सबको. पंढरपुर के सामने उनकी फैमिली पूजा साहित्य बेचा करती थी. फूल है, बेल है, तुळस आहे, गुलाल आहे, सिंदूर आहे, पूजेचं साहित्य विकायचे. फ्रॉम वेरी चाइल्डहुड हुसैन ने उसके साथ एक पेपर जोड़ दिया. वट सावित्री का सन आया तो उसने वट सावित्री का विजुअलाइजेशन किया. पोळा आया तो पोळा का विजुअलाइजेशन किया. एकादशी आई तो विठल का विजुअलाइजेशन किया. शिवरात्रि आई तो शिवों का विजुअलाइजेशन किया. और दे आर नॉट प्रिंटेड एज सच. एवरी वर्क ऑफ आर्ट, एवरी पेपर वॉज वेल ड्रॉन एंड पेंटेड बाय हुसैन. और उसको 4 आने 5 आने 10 आने में बेचा करता था. अगर आज वो एखादा कागज किसी के पास है, बाय द वे 1 करोड़ के नीचे तो नहीं बेचा जाएगा. इतना सा पेपर पक्का. हुसैन जो विठल के लिए जीता था, जो पंढरपुर का अविभाज्य घटक था, मैं कहूंगा, मैं तो सोच ही नहीं सकता था. उनका जो बड़ा बेटा था शमशाद, वो और मैं बड़ौदा में क्लासमेट थे, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएशन पेंटिंग में करते थे. उनके यहाँ जाने का बहुत बार ये आया. जब भी जाता तो पहले पूछता था, बेटा कैसा है. देयर इज वन वर्ड, न्यूड एंड नेकेड. भारत माता को न्यूड बनाया, देवी देवताओं को न्यूड प्रेजेंट किया. न्यूड इज अ सब्जेक्ट थॉट विद द सेंस ऑफ सेंसिटिविटी. बॉडी की बात होती है, एनाटॉमी की बात होती है. तो ये सेंसिटिविटी है जो न्यूड के पीछे है. लोगों ने उसको नेकेड बना दिया. और जो आदमी जिन्होंने इतना सारा दिया इंडियन कल्चर को, इंडियन माइथोलॉजी को, इंडियन सोसाइटी को, उसको 2 गज जबी भी नहीं मिली यहां पे. और कौन कहते हैं ऐसे, जिसका पूरा लाइफ इसके पीछे गया है. एक एक रंग की भाषा अपने अलग दिमाग से सोचने वाला हुसैन, उसकी संवेदना कुछ अलग है. उनकी संवेदना बच्चों जैसी है. और बच्चों की संवेदना जैसे कोई जल्दी समझ नहीं पाता, वैसे भी हुसैन को जल्दी कोई समझ नहीं पाया। दूसरा सवाल ऐसा था, आपने इन्होंने कहा कि लोग कुछ भी करते हैं और लोग मान जाते हैं। कभी कभी हम रजा को देखते हैं, कभी कभी गायतोंडे को देखते हैं। आपने सुना होगा कि अभी अमृता शेरगिल का एक पेंटिंग 52 करोड़ में बेचा गया। तो ऐसा पेपर में आते तो लोग मुझे फोन करते, चन्नी सर वो क्या था एक्चुअली, क्या है उसमें, 60 करोड़ में गया, 65 करोड़ में गया, मतलब उसमें है क्या ऐसा। लोग गायतोंडे का पेंटिंग देख के, गायतोंडे का नाम आपको मालूम होगा,